Hey, what's going on? Hey, we're finally back with a video of a decoder install in a stealth series of BLI's steam locomotives. I've been waiting on a decoder to come in, and it finally came in. So let's check out what we have here. So I'm fairly new, or actually very new, to the Broadway Limited Stealth Series. I have yet to install a decoder in a stealth series or have a stealth series apart, or even have my hands on one, but now I do. I ended up buying the PRR Q2, and this one's in the red color, so that's interesting. I know it's a fantasy color, but I like colors on steam locos. They look cool. I went with the Tsunami 21 pin from Soundtraxx. This is actually the big steam. Yep, it actually says it right there. Look at that. This one actually has the recordings of, I think, the big boy on there, actual recordings. I'm not sure. Obviously, won't use the whistle, but maybe use the chuff. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Those of you who've already dove into the process of installing a decoder in a stealth series, this will probably not be anything new for you, but for me and those that haven't, we'll dive in here and explore and see what we come up with. I think the board that's included with these stealth series has a keep alive built in, or a couple capacitors at least, but I'm not sure. Also, I don't think the stealth series steam has smoke, so we'll investigate that as well. But yeah, let's go sit down at the table and take this tinder apart. I'm assuming the decoder goes in the tinder, since that's where 99.999% of all BLI's decoders reside in their steam locomotives. I'm going to try to do a quick unboxing here with the camera and a little tripod. Don't know how well this is going to work. Let's see. You can see up to here, and obviously you can see that. So let's go with that. So typical BLI, that, well, not typical. Typical as of lately. This is their new packaging. So you have a cardboard sleeve on a fairly thick crush-proof box. This one came. What did this have? What do we have here? Oh, it's the invoice from Trainworld. Yeah, let's pop. Oh, you know what? They keep the literature in a slot here. So let's see what we got in there. If you know what, it's kind of hard to get out. So let's take the plastic blister pack out first. Let's see what kind of literature we got. This one was built on November 9th of 2024. All your warranty is based on that date, so always keep your boxes. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but no steam operator's manual, just your function keys in default and in, what do they call the pro mode? Yeah, there's pro mode and the default configuration. Your functions on this side and what they control, but which I guess you could remap your decoder depending on what decoder you put in to do this. I don't know. Kind of weird they give you this, because it really has no bearing on how you configure your decoder. And then there's like a flyer. But yeah, no owner's manual, no exploded view, no nothing. Got the Broadway Limited funnel, which is interesting because I don't think it has smoke, but we'll find out. So yeah, slide it. See the blister pack there. Typical, slides back and forth. You got a clamshell inside with sides. And then we have a side rod wrench and extra traction tires. Usually this opens, yep, just like that. Got the soft plastic top and bottom for protecting the model. I don't know if these are connected. I wash my hands, but I normally like to put rubber gloves on here. And the oils get on these paint, and it just seems like you never recover from that. The oil seems like it's always on the paint at that point. But anyway, let's, will this come out? Let's uncouple these. Pull this out. Interesting little piece of foam for traveling. You can see the tender is connected with the wiring harness. Has a drawbar with 2 options. It's a doghouse tender. Probably turn it this way a little bit so you guys can see. It's a brass hybrid model. It looks kind of plain as far as details, but maybe that's what the real locomotive looked like. I don't know. I've never seen one of these in real life. Looks like they did a casing on top on this model. A little streamlining. Let's unplug. I think I'm gonna have to go get a little screwdriver. Pop that. Be right back. Okay, I try not to pull too hard on these wires because I mean, you guys can see, maybe you can pull them right out of the harness if you're not careful. So I like to take a screwdriver and kind of just pry the lip of the connector. It's basically just a little flathead. Okay, this is getting a little silly. So instead of having the model slide around on the Pico Flex Track there, we're just going to take it in there to the hobby room and take it apart in there. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to look for videoing, but better than nothing. There we go. Got that disconnected. Set this guy over here. Turn this guy over. And maybe let's look at some of these details before we start taking the tender apart. Actually, I kind of take back what I said here. From this view, it's looking pretty good detail-wise. Let's see what we can see with the camera here. There's nice, lots of nice detail down through here. Not sure if this is what they really look like. Like I said, I'm not familiar with this locomotive at all. I just like the way it looked. This looks like it might be bent out a little bit, but all these fittings are brass, so can bend them back. I know some people wanted to see the front. Looks like we have some crew members, probably some crew detail in there or some firewall detail. Not 100% sure, but we'll look at that a little later once we get the decoder installed. Obviously, the other side looks a lot like this side. So let's see what we can do with the decoder install. Excuse the mess. Haven't really had time to clean up after working on this little guy last. So, like I said before, assuming the decoder is in here, typically, let's see how well that shows up. Broadway Limited tenders usually have 4 screws, 1 at each corner, that hold the shell on. So let's remove those and see what happens. Has for lighting or any of that. I don't know. You see what I mean about the grease? Look at that. Now I've got to figure out a way, and my hands are clean. Now I've got to figure out a way. I wonder. Oh, there we go. It's a little bit of a snug fit. Sometimes you have to slip a piece of thin styrene. Let's see if I have one. Maybe right here. Or in this case, cardboard. Up inside. That sometimes help. Yeah, see that? Did you learn something today? That trick usually works pretty good to help us slide off of a tight fit like that. Yep, we have one umbilical going up for, looks like multiple lights, probably, yep, rear light and class lights. Could possibly be a light in the, no, maybe not. I was going to say there could be a light inside the doghouse, but I don't think so. Okay, what do we got here? Move this out of the way and that out of the way. Let's pop this tape up and off. I want to reuse it though, so let's not destroy it. Okay, so it does use a 21 pin. That's a good thing. And they have a dummy in there right now so that it will run on DC power. Sometimes these guys fit a little snug too. Let's turn this around this way. Try to get some equal pressure on here so that we don't hang this right here for now. Bend any of these pins. Okay, looks like it might be loose now. Might be able to work it off. Or it's just going to be tight. There we go. And that's the dummy. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but on a 21 pin, you always have one pin that's blocked. So that's how you get the orientation proper, right? Otherwise, you would just have a bunch of 2 rows of pins, and the decoder could go on either way, and I'm sure that would cause issues. So always keep that in mind. Make sure you have it lined up properly and the right row aligned with the correct row. Otherwise, you might bend some pins trying to force it on. So let's find a decoder. A decoder has been found. Like I said, excuse that mess over there. There's been a lot of maintenance going on and very little cleanup. I know some of you know what I'm talking about there. The time that I have had to put towards modeling, railroad modeling, has been limited, so I don't really have all that time to, let's lower our big glasses down here. All the extra time to clean up. Okay, umbilical's out of the way. And I don't know if you can see it, but on this corner, this top left corner from your view, is the blank, which is this top left corner. So that means the decoder will go like this. Oh, let's make sure these are out of the way. Yep, slide draw it on. Did we hit all the holes? I think we did. Here, you know what I want to do? I think I want to put a piece of Captain tape over this metal screw right here, because there is some circuitry here that metal screw could touch. I don't know if you can see that here. It's a metal screw right here holding the board on. So let's put a piece of tape over that. Just good old Captain tape. Kapton motherboard, or whatever you want to call it, PC board. Press it on. Nice and good. There we go. Okay, now let's try putting this back on. I'll feel better about the install with that piece of tape in there. I got an issue here. The you can see to get this all the way on, this right here on the decoder, this has to be firmly planted against the PC board. I don't really like that. I guess something to think about when you're picking decoder for these stealth models, right? Oh, well, for now, let's just go with that because I think that's our only option. I am definitely going to look up and see if there is a 21 pin extender. We need that piece of tape on there, but I'm going to put it here anyway. I even feel better now about putting that Kapton tape in the bottom. Okay, I think sitting in that trough right there, right? Seems to be the way. I think we're in. But for back on the bottom, the security tin shell, back to chassis. Okay, don't want to over tighten those. No need. It's not like it's you know, a real locomotive and it's gonna vibrate and shake and holler. It will vibrate a little from the sound. That oil that I had on here, I don't think came from my fingers. I think it was on the phone. Tisk tisk. Technically, you could put this guy because it has pickups. I mean, I could apply power to this track right now, and I should be able to see the decoder in JMRI. Yeah, I just see wires going to the headlight in the smoke there. So no smoke unit for the stealth models, which is fine. The smoke's kind of gimmicky anyway. I hardly ever run it unless I'm filming and or on holidays like today. I'm going to lay this on the wood here. Should be okay. Quick look at the pins. They're closer to the bottom. Got to make sure you get orientation correctly. And then look at this guy here, and you can see the pins are closer to the bottom there. That's seated back in, just like that. I also like to apply a piece of tubing. Make sure I get the medium here to the drawbar pin so the models stay together. I always pick them up as one piece, and I use this silicone radio controlled fuel tubing, and I just push it right on the draw pin. Make sure it's up. See if you guys can see it like that. Okay. Lots of grease on the bottom from Broadway Limited. You guys see that underneath that rear truck? Okay, let's get some things out of the way here and see if we can get this on the track. I'll be right back with a different angle for the rest of the video. Okay, here we are. Some things to take note before I apply power here. We don't know how these are mapped from the motherboard to the actual lights. And they're gonna go from the light to the motherboard or PC board or whatever you want to call it, and then into the decoder. And if you look at lighting outputs, Soundtraxx says that F0 obviously is lights front and rear. So FX3, 4, 5 through 8 all support 100 milliamps of power. So there's 8 lighting options. Sorry about that on this decoder, but I doubt this locomotive has that many lighting options. We know it has lights front and rear. We know it has class lights in the rear. If you look on here, F24, 25, 26, 27, and 28 all control those. So One of these is going to turn on a cab light if it has a cab light. One of these is going to turn on the class lights in the rear for sure. I don't know that it has class lights in the front. We'll find out. So anyway, once you figure out, how these are wired, which one of these, which one is FX3 is basically what I'm trying to say. You can remap that to a different control. Let's just say you want all the lights to come on at the same time, class lights and forward and rear light. You could map those all to 0 if that's what you want to do. If you want individual control of everything, you would need to map, you don't need to, but you would want to map F24 through 28, however they're used, to maybe something that a little lower on the list, depending on how difficult it is to access function 24 on your type of DCC controller. Does that make any sense? Like I might move these to like F4, F5, F6. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, enough of that. Let's put some power to this guy and see what happens. It should, I'm guessing it should start up with the big boy sounds, which will be kind of weird, but some sounds better than no sound. Did that click in? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. It's click in. Okay, that's really loud. I'm going to turn that down, I think. Let's see. Whoa, yeah, that's kind of loud. So I'm going to turn that down. I think it's CV128 is the master volume on Soundtraxx. Let me see. I want to 3, and I want to do a CV, and I want to do 128. Let's just take it down to 75. There we go. That's better for now. The speakers will last longer too. Okay, so yep, there's your big boy whistle. Interesting, huh? Bell's probably going to be big boy as well. And so if I go headlight, well, there's the steam generator. And yep, we have a headlight on the rear, or the front rather, sorry. And come back to the back and put it in reverse. And then we have a light in the rear, just like it's supposed to. So now I'm going to try and access. It's usually a two-handed operation with NCE because you got to push multiple buttons. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, I'm going to have to set you guys here because I just can't operate NCE with one hand. Ends up being that, what is it, F28 is, I believe, the class lights, right? Yeah. So you guys can see that. F27, I believe, is the doghouse light. Yeah. And so that lights up as well. So I could map that and the cab light to come on when it's sitting stationary like this. And as soon as you move, they'll shut off. So that was 27. What's 26? I don't know. Kind of thought there would be class lights in the front too. Don't see any up there. I'm not seeing anything else light up. Let's go with 5. 5 looks like it's the cab light. That just came on. So here, let's go 5. Let's go 8, which should turn off the class lights. And 7, which should turn off the doghouse. 5 was the cab. 25 rather. All these are add a 2 to everything I'm saying. And 24, I don't know what 24 is. Nothing is lighting up. So maybe the class lights in the front are not functional. Okay, well, I'm going to set those lights up so my cab light and my doghouse light are on when it's stationary and slowly shut off as I move forward or backward. Class lights I'll hook to probably an F4 or F5 just so I can turn them on. Those really aren't class lights, I guess. Those would be like just, I mean, I could map those so that when it's going forward, they're always on. When it's going backwards, they shut off. So maybe I'll do that. Yeah, anyway, let's see what kind of slow speed handling we have here. I'm going to go with 128 speed steps. So this will be speed step 1 of 128 going forward. Not bad. And we'll back up. Speed step 1. That's speed step 1 of 128. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, not bad, not bad. This noise canceling mic is probably canceling out the sound of the locomotive. So let's turn off the mic, and we'll just go with locomotive sounds from here on out. And hopefully you guys can hear me over the locomotive. I did turn it down, so should be fine. Okay, we're back here with just the phone sound picking up my voice and the locomotive. The speakers sound pretty good. I mean, we'll have to pick some appropriate sounds for this particular locomotive, right? But yeah, nice and crisp, deep enough as far as the bass in, and the bell sounds good. Gonna have to play with the acceleration and deceleration settings as far as maybe coasting a little more as you cut the power instead of just stopping like it's doing. They'll probably set to 0. I like to bump them up to like 8 or 9 on Soundtraxx. Gives you a little bit more realistic operation. It feels like you're actually driving a heavy locomotive, because when you cut the power, it kind of keeps going. So yeah, that's that. Let's go see how she sounds on the layout and talk about the layout a little bit. Okay, in reverse, speed step 1 of 128. Speed step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That stuff actually sounds pretty good. Might leave it, just make sure it's timed with the rotation. Okay, forward. That's 15 of 128 speed steps. Yep, got to work on that. By the way, I did turn the volume back up to 95. 95 of 255, I think it'll go up to 255. And for me, it's plenty loud right now. Let's stop right here. And we already have the rear position, our class lights going, it looks like. Let's go for the doghouse. Yeah, there's a doghouse. And I think 4 was the cab. Maybe not. Might have been 5. Yep, 5's the cab. Don't know what 6 is. Was kind of hoping these little class lights were real, but I guess not. We did 5 was the cab, 4, I don't know. Seems to be nothing that I can see. And I think that's it, because I think 23 is something else. Sorry about the camera angle.
All aboard?
Yeah, 23 is all aboard. Just for giggles, let's go through Soundtraxx sounds.
Sector milepost 47.2. No defects. Repeat, no defects.
No defects. That's good. Is that 2? Let's go to 1. Probably industrial sounds.
Dispatcher 86 Amtrak 5 over. Amtrak 5 over.
Amtrak.
Reporter signal at the interlock.
That was F-22.
Roger. Cloud out.
More industrial sounds. But anyway, you can look on the list that came with the decoder. It'll tell you what all these sounds are. But yeah, that's, I mean, installing the decoder is really not too difficult. Let's see if 8 is mute. It is. That way, maybe you guys can hear me better. But, so installing the decoder is really not that difficult, right? 4 screws back here. Pop the shell off. Remove the dummy. Slide your decoder on. Put it back together. And then that's about it. Oh, and to answer that question about the keep alive, nope, there are no capacitors on the motherboard for keep alive. So if a keep alive is something you want, you're going to have to add one, you know, on your own here. I don't know that, you know, we've got pickups from here all the way to here. I don't know that you would ever need a keep alive on this guy, but maybe some of you have way dirtier track than others. I don't know. But it is a possibility. You just have to add it yourself. So yeah, no keep alive, no smoke. It doesn't appear the front class lights are operational. The rear facing red lights are operational. Like I said, I'm going to program those to come on when I'm moving forward. And then when I'm moving rearward or backward, they'll shut off along with the front headlight and turn on the rear, I guess, headlight and the back of the tender. Cab lights and doghouse lights will come on when I'm sitting still and fade out as I move. And of course, I need to change the whistle to a more appropriate whistle. I kind of like the chuff. I think I'm going to leave it. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up installing a decoder in a Broadway Limited stealth steam locomotive. I'm assuming none of them have smoke. If the Paragon version has smoke, you're probably not going to get smoke with the stealth version. But you do get all the lighting, and you do get speakers, and a decent PCB board or motherboard, whatever you want to call it, that's already pre-wired with connectors. And yeah, that's it. So hopefully you guys liked the video and it answered some questions that some of you may have. If you did, thumbs up. That's actually more important than anything. It gets the video out to more people. The more thumbs ups it gets, that good old YouTube algorithm. Um, then again, subscriptions are important for me because eventually this channel hopefully will be monetized. Um, and you have to have 1,000 subscriptions to do that. Getting the 4,000 watch hours isn't too difficult, but 1,000 for me, it's 1,000 just subscriptions. Maybe I'm just that boring. Nobody wants to subscribe. I don't know, but yeah, subscribe if you can, and I appreciate it. It really helps. Actually, there was some other items I wanted to talk about. There will be an update on that scratch built warehouse. I know a lot of you have watched that video, and a lot of you liked it, and lots of comments. Thank you. Um, Obviously, I have to do some painting next. My paint room is the outside, and it's been fairly chilly after work. And as far as fairly chilly in Southern California, that means it's 40 to 55 degrees. I'd rather paint it when it's a little warmer, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a warm day sometime soon. It's not uncommon to have a 85-degree Christmas here. And speaking of Christmas time, I'm really starting to miss the ability to, run trains. I kind of thought that would happen, but switching over to just a small shelf layout like this, well, it's not that small. But there's something about, hooking up one of my brass hybrids in the appropriate passenger consist and just letting it run during Christmas time, right? We got a Christmas tree. So I've been thinking about building another module to connect there, to come around, to connect down here, to give me, I don't know, maybe 60-inch radius turns. But I want it, I don't know, I got to think about it. I want to be able to disassemble it or, take it apart and just have mainly this section. But yeah, I mean, a section coming off of here around and down where I'm standing and down where we're walking, and then going back over and connecting in here just to have a double main to, run trains. I got to think about that. Got to think about how I want to do that. I've got plenty of space. Nothing here is nailed down. Those two mains there are soldered and wired, but we can work around that. It's not difficult at all. Just takes money, right? Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there too for you guys that watch. Get your thoughts, and ask those of you who've switched to a shelf layout. Do you ever miss, running trains? Just setting them up, letting them go, enjoying a beverage, and watching them cruise through your little miniature world that you've created. But yeah, I think I do miss that. Like I said, I think Christmas has something to do with that because that's normally what we do every Christmas. Anyway, you guys have a good one.